Good news at West Ham finally. My word, the roller coaster at West Ham, the roller coaster of emotions we all go through every single season supporting this wonderful club. When things are good, they're good. When things are bad, they're bad. When things are in between, they're bad. When things are in between, they're good. Who knows? Because all the West Ham fan base is split throughout the middle. Although there are some more fans now starting to, wander there into the territory of maybe, looking at different manager moving forward for West Ham. I think one thing's for sure is that maybe we might be heading down that route come the summer. But again, we will never know. We will never know because we don't essentially know what is actually going on at West Ham. But the one thing we do know that's going on with West Ham was the game against Arsenal was an absolute disgrace. There was no desire. There was no fight. There was no energy. There was no leaders. There was no va-va-voom. There was no flamboyancy. There was no excitement. The energy levels were low. The lackadaisical approach. They looked like they had been on holiday and they'd just come back from an all-inclusive 2-week trip away to your 5-star destination in Turkey. And that's how it looked on the pitch. With all due respect to Arsenal, as much as they did, eventually find their flow in the game after the second goal went in, we really just handed the whole game to them. The low block against Arsenal did not work and will not work moving forward. I understand consolidation, but there's a time and a place for consolidating, and maybe it's not now. However, we're in much need of some much good news. And who would have even thought that I would be saying this about this man here, Michail Antonio, who is set to potentially be available for West Ham come the next game against Nottingham Forest at the weekend. Now he's going back to his old club where he speaks highly of them, and he will have had another week under his belt of contact training at West Ham, and that is key for us in order to progress as a club. Now, what I mean by that is we're talking about a player that West Ham are relying on again for what? The ninth season again at West Ham. We're relying on Michail Antonio. I mean, if you'd have said that to me 6 months ago, I would have been, nah, no chance. If you said that to me a year ago, I'd have been like, nah, no chance. If you said that to me 2 years ago, I'd have been like, nah, no chance. But we find ourselves in that situation right now. Now, whether you like him, you hate him, you love him, you dislike him, no matter what the situation is that we could be doing with a Michail Antonio right now, there's no ifs or buts about it. Because what's happening with our plan A, and he was our plan A, and when he got injured, we had to have a new plan A, so we went to plan B. Our plan B was Jared Bowen through the middle. Teams have now worked that out, and we need Jared Bowen back on wings and allowing him to do the job that he can do, and we need someone like Antonio up front causing the problems. And do you know what? When the going gets tough, we need to step up to the plate, and again, we're looking like we're going to have to rely on Michail Antonio coming back in to the fold at West Ham. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's true. We are now relying on this geezer again to turn up and give us the performance of his life over the last part of the season. He is a big game changer for us, and I didn't think I'd have to be saying that. Now, when I say that, do I mean that he is the answer? No, I'm not saying that. But right now, we need bodies, we need players. And if he can give us anything close to his best form, then that will definitely and certainly help us. This is a situation about West Ham right now. This is not me talking to you about what should have and could have happened. We all know what should have happened. We all know we should have brought in recruits. We all know we could have brought in recruits, but we didn't. But we are in a situation that we're in just now, and it looks like we're going to have to rely on the old guard, i.e., a.k.a. the Beastman, a.k.a. Michail Antonio. But on top of that, the news potentially doesn't stop there because he is getting closer to fitness. We're waiting to hear how close to fitness Lucas Paquetá is, but we, my word, have missed this geezer. We have missed his ability to create something from absolutely nothing, his ability to penetrate a ball through any defense, his ability to loft that ball over defenders, his ability of tracking back because he tracks back. Oh my word, he tracks back and he does his full team duties. We have missed that fight, that determination, that energy, that drive in the middle of the park when you have a player like Lucas Paquetá. And listen, at the end of the day, there's rumours kicking around again saying Man City are putting him at the top of their priority. And if they are, he will leave West Ham. Let's not beat about the bush here. He will leave West Ham come the summer. But what we need to do is get the best out of him until he does go and try and pull something back from the last few games. The unthinkable games, the games we don't want to talk about again, but we have to look at the situation now moving forward. The game against Nottingham Forest becomes vital for West Ham, massive for West Ham, massive for David Moyes, massive for the players, massive for the owners, and massive for the fans. We need a performance of the ages. We need a performance to turn up and show, you know what, we're not giving up now. We've not just entered our holiday and are off to that 2-week 5-star location in Turkey. We need to fully focus and bring in a result for this club, because I tell you what, if we don't get a result, with all due respect, things are not looking good. Things will not look good, and things will continue not to look good, because what we can't afford to do is fall into that spiral. People will think we're in a spiral, but we have an opportunity to try and pull back from the depths of below and try and bridge that gap again, which is what we had before. So fingers crossed we can. You may look at this like me being quite positive. Well, the positive part is good news. Finally, Antonio is looking likely to be back for the game against Nottingham Forest. We're waiting to hear about Paquetá. Hopefully he will be back, but that offers us options. Finally, again, strength in depth, but not really strength in depth, but strength in our first team that we've been lacking heavily over the last 2 months. And fingers crossed that the players can go and get a result for us in the game against Nottingham Forest. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but let's be shouting loud and proud, and fingers crossed we can get something from the game. Take it easy. And of course, come on, you Irons. Join our man, Jamie, tonight as he brings you the wrap-up show discussing all things West Ham. 9 o'clock. Come on, you Irons.